So the second lens to go through when you want to pick the right story is actually, what do people learn about me? So what we talked about, people really engage, people feel connected when they know, like, and trust you. And how can we build that connection fast? By telling something about who we are. People say yes to people who are just like them, or they aspire to be like. So give them some leverage to feel connected with you, right? Don't just share this one singular piece of you as a storyteller. And there's actually literally right now a story that pops into my mind about one of my clients. He is an amazing fitness trainer, okay? An amazing fitness trainer. And he kept telling stories about how he was overweight and he was sitting behind his laptop all the time as an engineer, and then he didn't want it anymore. He had very low energy and he wanted a fulfilling, thriving life, and he wanted to feel comfortable and confident in his body. And that's when he started to learn about nutrition, and not in just any other way. He was using it in a way where he used his skills as an engineer to re-engineer his diet, and he has a very cool approach to that in a way that's fun and engineering, and it just works because you're following the numbers. Now, he was sharing this story all the time. So what am I hearing? I'm hearing that he was an engineer. I'm hearing that he went from overweight to really healthy body, like he is ripped right now. He's like a bodybuilder. Now my question to you, what did you learn about him? And maybe not on a specific level, just what I'm sharing with you, but on an emotional level. How do you feel about this guy? Associations that might come up, maybe not consciously, but subconsciously, is okay. When he is able to go from overweight to ripped to bodybuilding, he has a lot of discipline. I trust people with a lot of discipline. Maybe you're doing a sport yourself and you resonate with him on that level. But there's also, again, subconscious connections around trust, about authority, about something that you look up to. And this specific guy, he told me one day, I think it was Persian. His mom is from Persia, Persian mom, do you say it like this? A Persian mom, and she loves to cook. She loves it. And she loves to create this, let's call it, amazing dishes with a lot of unhealthy ingredients as well. And with his new trajectory, it didn't fit with him. And what he did is, instead of, going against his mom's love, which is the way she expresses love to him, he actually sat with his mom, told the story, and he said, why don't we create your amazing recipes but with different ingredients that are more healthy? And he brought her along the journey, and now they're doing this together. Now, just knowing first the engineer part and the bodybuilding part, now knowing about his mom, what does this add to you? As you don't know this person yet, but what if you now do? You actually do, right? And this part of the story is added to the mix. Does that do something for you? Come on now. There's a lot more warmth, a lot more heart, a lot more connection. And this happens for you as well when you tell stories, right? The more leverage you give for people to feel a connection with you, the higher the opportunity that on a deep emotional core level, they trust you. And they see aspects of your personality that they love seeing in their coach. Discipline, vulnerability, connection, loyalty. And you're going to create what those subject parts are for yourself. I call it the 3 C's. Now you might think, Lori, you have a lot of 3s. I told you the brain loves 3, so create yours. The 3 C's. These are buckets of your life, and you would love to help people get a full view of who you are, right? When you only know the engineer, you only know the bodybuilding, it's one part. But when you add the mom, it's a whole different person, isn't it? The same, for example, for myself, is I can tell you that I flew for speaking engagements. I work with TEDx. I work with people on a TEDx stage. I stood on a stage with 10,000 people. I'm doing this for a while, right? I come from the corporate world. I work with Dean Graziosi. All these beautiful things. But then I can also tell you that I travel. And that I love to live a magical life. That I've been an athlete and that I've swam for most of my teenage years. That I had the dream of going to the Olympics. I can also tell you that my best friend is my grandma. And that we went on a trip together in Tenerife. And we had a whole week where just the two of us were together. And even in this busy life, I love to create time to just be with her. It's a very wide mix of a personality that gives you more leverage to feel connected. When I tell about my grandma, and maybe you don't have a grandma or you have a different relationship with your grandma, just a relationship with me and my grandma creates something for you. Maybe you have that relationship with someone in your life. Maybe it creates a rapport of trust. If you're chilling with your grandma, you must have patience when you're video calling her and she has no idea what she's doing, which is the truth. I had to build that muscle for her because I love her so much. And now the juice comes because you're going to figure out what those buckets are for your own life. And I call them the 3 C's, what I already said to you. And the first one is credibility. The first one is what? Shout it out. Write it down. I want you to see your forehead. I don't see you, but you know, I'm there with you. We're doing the work together. The first one is credibility. What makes you credible to teach this? So for me, I just named something. I'm working with the best of the world. I worked with TEDx. I helped so many people. I'm speaking myself. I'm doing all these crazy things. For the guy, I was overweight. Now I'm ripped. Look. And you see it, right? What is it for you? And it might just be, I read a book about it. Might just be, I went through the journey myself. Might just be, I'm still in the process, but I want to talk about it so you can talk about it. Don't overcomplicate this, right? Don't have this thought, I'm not credible. It's not true. Your chapter 3 might be 3 levels up from someone who's just starting out. And if you're already doing this, what are the main steps of your credibility, right? We don't need to read your CV. We just want to see the highlights. What are the highlights of your credibility? Then the second C. The second C is community. The second C is what? Shout it out. Did you say it? Community. Who are you hanging out with? We want to see who you're spending your time with, your community. With the guy, his mom was a community piece, right? It's not his only piece, it's the one he now picked for the aim that he wanted to get across in his storyline. So he picked the story and he made sure that the community piece was checked off. Does that mean he needs to talk about his mom all the time? Can he also share something about an amazing mastermind he's part of? Or I don't know, like a good friend of his youth, of course. But you want to make sure that the whole variety of you as a personality shines through. So then, for me, for example, community was my grandma. Does it mean that my grandma is my only community? No. Again, I just want to pick one that resonates with this goal that I also really like to tell. Because again, when you're loving it, when you're in your authentic light, you're shining through, and that's what people resonate most. It's not your perfection, it's your authenticity. The third C, and this is going to be a cool one, I'm revealing it partly, is coolness. The third C is coolness. Coolness. And I said this one time in a group that I was training, and there was a woman, and she said, I don't think I have anything. And I said it more empathetic and really nice, but that's not true. You are super cool. Come on, you're here. You're spending time, you're spending energy to become better. Like, you are so freaking cool. Come on now, give yourself some credit. And then when we were peeling off the onion, when we were discovering what is it that is unique about her, that's specific. And again, it can already be, I'm living in the Netherlands. And for her, she loves baking. She loves it. She loves it so much that she makes cakes and cookies and then send it to her clients. Like, that's so cool. That's so cool, right? Someone in a group as well, she is 71 and she just bungee jumping for the first time at 71. And now she's telling this story, if I can do something this crazy, what are you slacking? And take the action to go to the next level. Right? What is your coolness? Think about it. The goal of this is that you want to deliver on a silver platter to your audience. Hey, this is who I am. I'm not saying, hey, I'm Lori, I'm so freaking amazing, I do all these things. You're telling stories around it to set up someone else for a breakthrough and insight. So you can teach something so that they can make a new decision, they can integrate it into their body, they become a new human, they're amazing. And while they're listening to that and while they're going through all of that, they're learning a little bit about you. It's more like an extra bonus, like a secret layer, like a fog that they walk into, and they just get to know you more. And they don't just get to know you more on a credibility level and all the cool stuff you've done, but also your community. And they're not only listening to all the people you're hanging out with, but they're also getting some uniqueness about you. So they feel connected with you because people say yes to people. They feel like they are similar to you or they want to be more of you. So share something about you so people can feel that. It's so important. Okay? Then there's one last example that I want to share with you before you are going to find out what those three are for yourself. And every time, by the way, I'm telling a story or I'm sharing an example, think through the lens of what is this for me? How can I use this? What can I learn from this so I can implement right now? Now, there's one example, and I'll show the photos here. There was this dentist. This dentist was there, and he's an amazing dentist. He can help people with their teeth. Freaking amazing, right? It's a dentist who can help you with your teeth. Like they get white, they get like all shiny, they get straight, they're healthy. It's so amazing. And that's his credibility piece, right? His credibility piece is, okay, I can do this really well. I'm doing this for so many years. He has his white coat. Come on, he looks professional. Can we agree on that? Then, if we go to the community piece, these are the people he's hanging out with. Hollywood superstars. He's having a lot of clientele from Hollywood. He gets famous actors, all kinds of famous people that he's helping. So we're starting to see, oh my God. And that's actually pretty cool as well, right? So if you're thinking, my buckets, they're so strict, they're not that strict. Sometimes they overlap. I hope you see the goal, the aim of this step, so people get to know you a little bit better. So we start to see he's credible, we start to see his community. This already is great, right? This already sets him apart. But there's one thing that makes him so cool, and that's this. He's a dentist skateboarder. Isn't that the coolest thing in the world? Just knowing that piece, do you see him in a different way? Do you see that his perceived value is increasing? Do you see that people would love to be there for him? Let's just imagine the skateboarding was out of the picture. We only see the the credentials, and then the Hollywood clientele. There's still competitors out there, but when you see the skateboarding part, you're like, oh my God, my dentist is the coolest on earth. I'm even willing to spend a little bit more money there. Do you see how this works? Do you also see that when there's only the skateboarder and only the Hollywood, you might think he's doing a lot of marketing, but does he have the basics? Can I trust my whole, health in his hands? Or when the clientele of Hollywood wasn't there and the skateboarder was there and the credibility was there, you might not take him seriously, or people from Hollywood might not take him seriously because he's just goofing around. So those three together create one big epic picture that says a lot about him as a person, and that will help other people to say yes to his services too. Does that make sense? Does it make sense? So now the question is to you. What are your 3 buckets? What bullets can you put in those circles? The credibility, the community, and the coolness. Let's go. There's one more.